To approve.
Make a motion, we approve it.
I'll second.
I have a motion by Bob, seconded by Dale. All in favor?
Aye.
Okay, out of cycle claims. I'm gonna break these down this morning since there's gonna be a little discussion on a couple of them. We have Visa One at $764.85. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve Visa One.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Bob, seconded by Dale. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Visa Two is $581.83.
Make a motion, we approve.
Have a motion.
Vision two at 581.
Have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Dale. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Visa Three, $298. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Motion to approve Visa three.
Have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second? Seconded by Dale. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Visa Four, $297.18. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Visa four, yes.
Have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. All in favor?
Aye.
3-0. Visa Five, $14.35.52.
I make a motion for Visa five.
Have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
Okay. Epic Insurance. And this claim was back on May the 13th, $103,954.75. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion, we approve Epic Insurance.
Have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Seconded by Dale. All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. COVID. May 25th, 4625, $4,625. I know that Bob had a question on one of the claims on here.
Yes. What they put down there, they were,
Remote.
yeah, remote at 11 o'clock at night. What were you doing?
They can do that. They can work from home doing their things for the state remotely anytime, as long as they keep track of it.
So in other words, they was doing it for the state?
Oh, yeah, that's a grant. That's not county. That's grant funded, not county funded.
And these are not county employees, they're employed by the COVID clinic, paid by the state,
Correct.
Still tax dollars.
still tax dollars.
All right. With that being said, do I hear a motion to approve?
You wanna make a motion, Dale?
You might well. What is it?
Claims for COVID, for the working, for the COVID clinic.
Well, are we supposed to pay that crap?
Well, they get the grant for it, yes.
Oh, if we got a grant coming for that?
It's paid out of the grant.
It's
right
already
now.
grant money, yes.
Okay, I'll make that motion.
I have a motion by Dale. Do I hear a second?
Second.
Seconded by Bob. All in favor? Aye. Utilities, we have two of those for the claim cycle. The first one, May 20th, $25,063.01. Do I hear a motion to approve?
The 25,063.01.
01, May 20th.
Yep, I'll make that
I
motion.
have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Dale. All in favor? Aye.
Aye.
3-0. Grab the
25 years ago, that's all the paperwork I've had in a whole year.
Utilities for May 25th, 2022, $12,315.28. Do I hear a motion to approve?
Make a motion for approve to 12,315.28.
I'll second that.
I have a motion by Bob, seconded by Dale. All in favor? Aye. 3-0. And the last one is S&B Research. This is for the comprehension plan, which is being paid through a grant for $36,000. This is the first of 2 installments, if I'm not mistaken. Correct, Sheila? Do I hear a motion to approve?
I make a motion we approve.
I have a
Research.
motion by Bob, seconded by Dale. All in favor? Aye. There we go, gentlemen. Next on the agenda, old business, is the 911 follow-up, which has been quite a lengthy ordeal. We'll let Kathleen jump up here. It's still in the process, but
Yeah,
she can make short work of it, I think.
yeah, so, all parties are finally communicating with each other. That is what my goal was at the last meeting, was just to get the open lines of communication going. So, we have been able to resolve one issue. However, there still are the 2 outlying issues that are being worked on. So we have also had to get Smithville involved to get us an additional static IP into the dispatch center to be able to connect with the state. So right now, we're waiting on Smithville to be able to give us a thumbs up that we now have that, and it's all working before we can update IP addresses and everything with companies to be able to get everything running, so.
It's been quite the process.
It has been a very long process, so.
And we thank you for your efforts, and again, I pushed a lot of buttons and tried to get a lot of people going, and appreciate Sam getting involved as well. So again, it's something that should have been taken care of many months ago, but
Long time ago.
yeah. We'll fight through it, we'll get it done. It does affect the safety of our citizens down the road, and that is our number one concern.
Yep.
So, thank you, Kathleen.
I have a building thing. Do you want me to wait until,
Go ahead, you're here.
Okay, so, the big storms that came through, I believe it was May 21st, that weekend. As you guys know, we're in a metal building. So you have big storms, rain, thunder. It got to the point we couldn't hear radios and we couldn't hear callers, because of the rain hitting off the side of the building, the top of the building. I don't know if it's a poor insulation issue. Like I said, shell and everything was already done before I came in, so I don't know what kind of insulation we have in the building. But we could not hear radios, we could not hear callers during that incident. It's just like any metal barn. It's an open shell, there's not a whole lot in it, so everything's gonna echo through it. So.
Why don't, it's just a suggestion on my part, why don't we look at foam insulation?
Okay.
You can get a couple of contractors to come down and see what it costs to fill that with foam. I don't know if is that feasible, Sam? You were involved in the construction on that.
The sound deadening ceiling on that, there's a difference between the ceiling and the top of the roof and stuff like that. Now, the walls, in between Chris and them, is sound deadening as well. I don't know, I've not been in there too much when it's storming and stuff like that, but
I'm assuming you're talking on the west end of the building where the rain's coming in on,
Well, it's,
between you and the church.
yeah, I don't know what type of sound deadening is in the ceiling, but I know whenever I've looked in the attic, it's just like blown insulation. So, it is what it is. It's a metal building. You're still gonna get noise. I do know whenever we have people upstairs working that's directly over dispatch, we can hear every single step, every single bucket they move or anything like that. So I don't know any sound deadening between that kind of lower space and then our facility. And then anytime they're exchanging oxygen bottles and stuff in the other room, we're in the bays, we hear it in ours. We can hear them opening the garage door. That's right there on the west side of their west bay. So I I don't know. It's
The only
a
thing,
lot of excess noise.
the
Anytime
only
any,
thing you can do is put foam on the walls.
yeah,
The only thing I know of. Yeah.
It's foam, I mean, you can't take the wall down, insulate,
Right.
stuff like that. You could foam.
Do you have this same problem on your end?
Oh, they're doing it on their side talking, so we don't hear them, I guess.
No, but I mean, are you hearing noise?
Yeah, we have rain noise and stuff
Okay.
like that, we don't, I know the petition wall in between the two departments is, 6-inch bat insulation. She's correct, unless they did something that I didn't know about, there's about a foot of blown-in insulation in the attic.
And that's settled down to 6 inches by now. Yeah.
You might be able to put some foam on top
yeah.
of the walkway, because you're talking about people working up there, they're not working above your dispatch center anyway.
Well, every once in a while, if they have to run and chase cables, they're above us pulling cables,
yeah.
but that's few and far between, when that happens. So I obviously can restrict that. If we're busy, we're not gonna have them up there doing that. It's just an example of some of the noise that we can get. But the big one was, the storm. Anytime maintenance comes and mows, which we absolutely love, he's there and he does it, and then he also blows the walkway off. It sounds like he's inside dispatch with the leaf blower or the weed eater, and even people across the street, if they're mowing, we're hearing it as if they're standing right next to our building.
Well, gentlemen, do you have a problem with Kathleen getting some information and quotes from some different companies for some sound barriering? We'll put that in your hands, let you make those contacts, you can bring something back to us.
Okay.
You have a problem with that?
We use some in our interview where we put some foam. It's just a big foam pad, it's a sound barrier, but you don't wanna get in there and up walls and stuff.
No, we just need to figure out what we can do to deaden some of the noise.
Yeah, I know that they can't, companies, it's expensive, but can drop in foam from pleated tube from the top down to the bottom, fill it as they're doing it,
All right,
that kind
So
of
if you
stuff.
wanna
So
do
I'll
some-
look at several different options. I have been looking at some options for at least something on the ceiling, just because we have like those 10, 12-foot ceilings. And it's all hard space, so it does make it noisy even if we get busy in there as well, just something to at least put on the ceiling as a sound dampener.
But then you may be able to do that up above, not in your ceiling, in your dispatch center,
Yeah.
go up above where the wall, where the thing is.
Yeah,
You can put foam on top of that, I mean, they still
Yeah.
walk across and stuff, like I'd put
Right.
it there rather than put it inside the ceiling, inside the dispatch itself.
yeah, you're talking about 4 by 2-inch thick foam,
Yeah, it's really.
insulation.
It's
Yeah.
a sound,
yeah.
Since you're dealing with the problem and you know what needs to be
Mhm.
done, I think it's best that you get that information, see what you
Okay.
can come up with.
I'm
and
gonna
bring it
reach
back.
out to some other dispatch centers, see what they've done in their center, get some suggestions from companies, for actual companies that might do some sound deadening stuff, so, but yeah,
Okay,
Just
see what
so
you
you
can come up with.
it is a problem, but, so.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is the Bland's towing contract, which was approved a couple of meetings ago, if I'm not mistaken, or at least one meeting ago. Jim got some,
Yeah, that's right.
Information.
There was a request for proposals that were presented out. Lance presented the proposal, it was approved. The standard procedure after that is then approving the actual contract, so that's what's before you today. To sign that, we'll need a representative from Lance to also sign, and then the original needs to go to the auditor.
this requires one signature. I'm gonna make a motion that we let Bob Curry sign and initial his contract. Do I hear a second? Got a second by Dale. All in favor? Aye.
Nay.
I think there's just a couple of places to sign and a couple of initials there. Stop grant, and I don't see Don here. Jim, you wanna
Sure.
address this?
So the prosecutor's office has a grant for domestic violence, and I think they've had that for several years. I'm not sure the exact date when it started, but the prosecutor's office was notified that this year that the state requires a contract. So the contract is among parties within the prosecutor's office. It would start the agreement as far as the effective date would be October 1st, and it would run to September 30th of 2022, again in 2021. The prosecutor's office wasn't notified until very late in March that they needed this contract. So the actual contract itself, we'll be crystal clear about that. If approved by the Board of Commissioners, the prosecutor's office will be signing that most likely today or tomorrow. But the effective date does go back into October 1st. It's for the reimbursement for the grant, and it's just in essence an additional paperwork required by the state, and that's what's being presented to you today. It does not require any signatures from the commissioners. Just that any contract that's signed in the county needs to come to you for your awareness and your approval.
Right. And I did notice that it also asked for a conflict of interest statement to be filed with the clerk's office, so we want to make sure we follow up on that as well. With that being said, do I hear a motion to approve the stop grant for the prosecutor's office?
I make a motion.
Got a motion by Bob, seconded by Dale. All in favor? Aye. Christine, Health Department.
Okay, I know Jim had sent out a, email on a building that we had looked at, that's basically just an FYI for you guys. No decision needs to be made on it today.
From what I understand, looking at that, not that we have to approve it, that's your health board situation there to take care of that. But is that a triple net lease? You're responsible for all utilities, repairs, insurance, so on and so forth?
The utility, the only thing not covered in that is the internet, so, the landlord picks up all the utilities. We do have to have $1 million life insurance policy, or life insurance policy. Liability. So,
Okay. Anything else?
not that I'm aware
Okay. Moving on.
So, I apologize, just one bit of clarification. But since it's a private contract, you're not wanting a vote today from the commissioners of any kind, is that correct?
If they do vote to say that contract's okay, that doesn't mean that I have to accept it, right?
No, so no, there's no pressure of doing it at all, but when and if the
Okay.
health board does want to do that agreement, under Title 16, it does require just their approval of the
Okay.
contract. So you don't want
Then
any,
I probably would want them to go ahead and approve it if the whole board wants to look at it.
do you want to hold that till the 20th then? Okay, all right, so that's,
You're not ready to make that decision yet, so that's why you want to wait. That makes perfect
okay.
sense. Okay. Anything else, Jim?
Jim, did you want to talk about, since we're talking about, I guess, this is a health building of a new area, but you do have some, as far as the roofing project on the health, did you want to do that now?
Yeah, while we're on the health department issue and the building update, let's just go ahead. I think Bob's got some stuff together,
Okay,
possible contracts or companies or,
so,
Company we're gonna look at.
okay.
so commissioners, what
Get
you
bids from.
would have, this is the health building, would fall under, I mean, it's a public building. So we're talking about specifically the roof, over there of the repair. So the statute that comes into play is Indiana Code 36-1-12, 4.7. And that's for projects that, I believe that are under $100,000, and then you can go ahead and get quotes. So commissioners, you would have in front of you, there's plans and specifications. It's a one-page document. If these plans and specifications for the roof are approved, that's the first step as far as sending out quotes. I'll be quick on this, but the plan and specification would be to remove the existing roof and dispose, check existing roof decking and replace as needed, remove the existing metal wall cap at the top of the wall and dispose. The flue at the center side of the west of the building is not in use, so we need to remove the existing brick down to the roof and build the decking. This is either or. Install a one-layer 3/8 Duralfold roof insulation per manufacturer specifications, or install one insulator, poly, I'll mispronounce this, poly cyclone roof insulation. 6, install 50 mil Duralast roof system, mechanically fastened, including all parrots, rubbers, curbs, drains installed per manufacturer specifications. 7, install 24 gauge 2.2B snap block for the perimeter edges and manufacturer specifications of the wall cap. This work will be completed by July 31st, 2022. Work is to be completed during evening hours and coordinated with the shutdown at the courthouse hours. 10, there's a pole that feeds the courthouse. It needs to be de-energized daily before the start of the workday, or re-energized at the conclusion of the workday. Continuous cleanup and debris removal and clean the job site. If those are the specifications you want, that's start 1 on the roof. So that would be up to the commissioners if you want to approve those.
Gentlemen, have any questions? No. We've talked about this for quite some time, so, do I hear a motion to approve the, plans and specifications for the, roof project for the health building?
I make that motion.
Have a motion by Bob, do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Have a second by Dale, all in favor?
Aye.
So we can get these advertised.
Okay, so commissioners, you should then have a template for a letter. Now this is in Word format, and this is a template that would require a minimum of 3 separate businesses that do this line of work need to go out. My recommendation would be, whichever commissioner is in charge, to coordinate this with the auditor. I think they would be able to assist in putting on the letterhead and then getting these mailed out. They need to be mailed out this week, because the request is that the quotes be returned by the June 20th meeting. So if this letter looks appropriate to you, approve it, and then respectfully, you would need to assign at least a commissioner to go ahead and proceed and coordinate with the auditor of getting the letters sent out to the 3.
That would be Mr. Curry, he's over the maintenance, so.
Okay.
Do you have that letter there?
Yeah.
Okay,
This is the template, and it's electronically, and then we can insert the names of it. My recommendation would be put that on the county letterhead, by the auditors. I could help with that.
all right. Do I hear a motion to approve the, general letter for the, planning and specifications of the roof to go out to the contractors?
Siding you.
Oh, no, what you want, Bob, on this, you would
Yeah.
want to get your 3 companies, and then if you, my recommendation is coordinate with the auditor's office and have them help you get because it's in Word format, get the addresses on there, and then those 3 can be mailed.
Directly to them. So we're just approving the letter, right?
Yeah, that's just the format of the letter.
So do I hear a motion to approve the letter?
I make a motion, we approve this letter.
I have a motion by Bob, I'll second that. All in favor? Aye.
Okay, gentlemen, then on our final point, since the project has been approved, this is today, June 6th. Commissioner Curry, if we could get, if it's possible, get those letters out on the 7th or the 8th, that would give enough time that the request would be that the quotes will come back to the June 20th meeting, with the idea of having the roof completed by the July 31st. So our 20th meeting, we should have at least 3 quotes, or as many that you send out. 3 is the minimum. There is 1 maximum.
Okay. Any other discussion with the health department?
No, the only other thing I would say is bring up the 20th, if you would have some ideas on your actual specifications for the east wall. 2 separate projects, but if you would have some ideas as far as, do you want that re-bricked? Do you want that some other type of metal type of sheeting? But we would need to do, in essence, the exact same project on it starting on the 20th.
Yeah, we put that out once and got 2 very discrepancy quotes, price-wise, so we've pulled that and need to regroup. We'll get those bids out and take a look at them, and I think that we were looking at possibly putting metal back up instead of brick, so once we make that determination, then we can move forward with that as well.
We could do that on the 20th, just have a bit of our specifications, then we can do the exact same project.
That sounds good to you, Bob?
Yep.
Okay. All right. Next up is the Maximus contract, and that is for the auditor's office. I do have a question that happens to show up in the commissioner's budget, which is not a commissioner budget expense. Maximus is a consulting firm, and obviously the commissioners have an attorney as our consulting firm, so we want to make sure that this bill is not being paid out of the commissioner's budget. And Sheila, this was set up by the previous auditor this way, and it should not have been because it is not a commissioner's expense. So come budget hearing, we need to make sure that that gets rectified. I think it was one of those, let's throw it in this pile over here. Previously. So do I hear a motion to approve the Maximus contract for the auditor's office? Jim has looked at the contract.
The contract, there's no unusual terms or anything, so it just would be completely, is this a service that is wanted, but there's nothing to be concerned about as far as the actual contract.
I make a motion to approve the maximum contract.
I have a motion by Bob. Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
I have a second by Dale. All in favor? Aye. And Jim, I'm assuming that this could be signed by Sheila since it's through her office.
You can authorize, if you wanted to by vote, if you want to authorize the auditor to sign the contract.
And I'm gonna do that since it belongs to that office. I think the other offices use Maximus and different ones, so I make a motion that we approve the auditor to sign our contract. Got a motion by myself, seconded by Bob. All in favor? Aye. I don't know if you have a copy of it now, but okay. All right, update on the EMS and ambulance bid packet. And I think we have one bid that showed up this morning. Well, you wanna do the bid first, or you wanna?
It's up to you. I really don't have much.
Well, Jim, if you wanna go ahead and open that bid up, please.
Sure, for everyone, what we're proceeding on, this is under Indiana statute, it's 5-22-7-1. This was a bid that was sent out with specifications for a new ambulance. The assumption was that the ambulance cost might be over $150,000, so that's why sometimes you hear quotes. This is a sealed bid because of the amount, and it triggers a different statute. So it looks like, at least from marked as for time, there was one bid. It looks like it's from Penn Care, at least from the outside, so I'll go ahead and open that up. Or try to. There we go. That obviously was a sealed bid. Okay, this MedX new ambulance proposal, it is from Penn Care. Okay, this is the bid sheet. It is by the notebook, but there was a prepared bid sheet and they have used the proper form here. The bid sheet, this is for an emergency medical vehicle. It is a Type 1 Chevy C3500 diesel, 153 by 70 by 94 ME 153 module. This form itself is being used by all bidders, submitted entirely with the bid. It has been submitted on the proper date and time of June 6, 2022. The bid amount is $199,706.00. The bid amount is $199,706.00. There was request the anticipated date of delivery, 365 days from the receipt of the chassis and order. 365 days from the receipt of the chassis and order. Bid price again, $199,706. Commissioners, I do need to look and make sure that there are other forms that they did fill out. They did do the contractors bid, so that Form 96 is there. Here. They did their financial statement. And it has been notarized and properly notarized, as County, there's a non-collusion affidavit and notarized for the non-collusion affidavit. Domestic steel and notarized. Packet, they do have the proper, for this type of bid for the drug and alcohol use, and their policies are in here. And it has all been filled out in the employment certification. So they did follow all of the forms in the bid packet that was prepared. Chris, there is on the ambulance bids packet, now this is 41 pages long. If you want to review that, we're going through that. They have completed and made different check marks. Chris, you may want to go ahead and go through each and every one of these to look at. In addition to the legal forms, there was a 41 page of specifications that they were to check off, and they did in fact do that, and it's present. And their drawings and more specifications of the document. And print it. So they would be a responsible bidder. They did follow all of the proper procedures. They used all proper forms, and they're in compliance with it. This is the only bid. So, but being that it's 41 pages, I don't know if you would want Chris to review or take a look, but it has been read out loud at the proper meeting. And I don't know that this is something, like even if you said today, you know, that you're gonna order it today. So if you wanna review it and bring it back on the 20th, if that.
I'm gonna suggest that Chris take a time and go through it, as many pages the document is, and that $200,000 vehicle, we need to make sure that everything is in order.
Okay.
I wanna say that where we at, Chris? $40,000 over the last one that we bought? 40? Maybe more. I wanna say 149 was the last one.
148 was the last bid we got, and the last one we purchased was 137 and some change.
But I would recommend that you go through that. I know that we have an ambulance that's costing us a large amount of repair money. So we wanna be able to approve this as quick as we can to stop that bleeding. Sounds like as long as it's gonna take to build it, we're gonna bleed for a little while longer anyway, so.
Yeah, unfortunately, that one is one of our front lines with the power lift system in it, so we just almost gotta keep
it going. And we requested that same system in this new, and that added some additional expense to this price that we did not have before.
Yeah.
But it is a crucial piece of equipment for the EMS, so. Gentlemen, have any other questions?
Nope.
You wanna take,
Table that to the 20th, would that be?
Takes a year to get it.
it's gonna take roughly a year from what,
a year from the time that they received the
Right.
chassis.
right?
That could fluctuate a little bit depending on once the chassis, the chips, things like that start rolling in. So we put a number in there that we knew we could meet.
And everybody's on your priority list, right? I just thought I'd ask, but,
We can just, I guess, take it under advisement.
I'm gonna make a motion that we table it until the next meeting. Do I hear a motion to table?
Make that motion.
I have a motion by Dale,
Second.
seconded by Bob, all in favor, aye, and we'll bring this back up at our next meeting. Yes, Ernie?
I need the original.
I'd like to take the opportunity right now, Ernie Falkenbach, Cataract. My neighbor, Steve Jones, was in an accident, four-wheel operating accident, quad. And our EMS was out there in full force. They brought out manpower, they brought out equipment. They were out there within, I'd say, Chris can help me out there, 30 or less minutes. And they had a large crew to go in and take him out. He was well into the, his property on probably a 100-foot drop. And he turned his machine upside down a couple of times. He's home, he's convalescing, he'll be in rehab for probably a couple of weeks. But it was very impressive to see the manpower that came out, the due diligence of all of the players, and the experience of getting him out. He was airlifted into Indianapolis. He's suffering a couple of broken vertebrae and several injuries to his ribs. But really appreciate what Chris did for us out there. It was very impressive. And I don't know if there's any coverage of it. I doubt it. I haven't heard anything, haven't seen anything, but commend Chris and his team for coming out there.
Ernie, we appreciate that very much. Chris's staff does an outstanding job. All of our EMS and emergency services do. It's good to hear positive comments instead of negative all the time, so we appreciate that greatly. And Chris does an outstanding job.
It's a big effort.
Staff, yeah.
Big effort.
Yes.
And it goes on countywide, and so thank you for that. And thank you, Chris. Anything else, sir?
Just a quick update, we started out in the morning at run number 1,325. We'll be at 15 by the end of the month, which halfway through the year, we're gonna hit 3,000 again this year unless we have a big slowdown. And we have the new truck, of course, in service, the new Tahoe, which allowed us to switch equipment over from the Tahoe I was driving into the Tahoe that the supervisors were driving at the time. So that frees up the Tahoe to surplus. So I don't know if we want to do that today, if we just want to mess with doing it at the next meeting, or sort of I've got the VIN number, but.
Why don't we get Jim that information and we can just bring it to the next meeting and have it together in a resolution so we can go ahead and move forward with it.
That's all I've got, unless you guys have any further from me.
Just again, appreciate what you and your staff do down there.
I'm gonna go ahead and scoot out of here today, if that's okay.
Can I ask, on these bids, are we allowed to ask for 2 copies of everything? Cause he's walking out of here with the original. I trust him to get it back, it's just. If
I would
we
think,
get-
well, yeah, sure, so we can do that, do 2 copies. Well, my recommendation is there is, at the front of that is the smaller bid packet, the 7. My recommendation is go ahead and make the copies of it so that the auditor has the actual copies of that on the 41 page. If your office could do that, fine, if not, but they're starting right there, because that's the section right there, is to make copies of those before you leave.
Okay. You want the bids, the 41 page
No,
bid specs or no?
it's that first section, it's got the bid and it's got all the notary.
This will be down in your office waiting on you.
Thank you.
Thanks.
Thank you, Chris. All right, Greg, Chad, Highway Department. Got some general updates, bridge bid packets, road bids. Greg, real quick before you get started, I got one question. I think I've already answered it, but I'm gonna ask for it anyway. Going through the claims, we had a $29,000 from Southeastern Equipment. That is for the
That's for the hot
hot box. Okay,
Yes.
that's what, it had been delayed to get paid, so when I seen it come up, I was pretty sure that's what it was, but I wanted to
When
make sure.
that was ordered, Southeastern agreed to delay our payment, and let us have the machine, so that is what that is.
I was pretty sure that was correct, but I wanted to make sure. Thank you. All right, you wanna start with the bids? You wanna start with your general information?
Let's start with some general information.
Sure.
We'll go with the bids. Commissioners, we have a schedule set for, this month, to work on projects. We're working on, a drainage project on River Road, this week, and some, normal brush cutting and, pothole filling will continue. From the 20th to the 23rd, 14th through the 16th, weather permitting, we will chip seal Truesdale Road from 231 to Stone Mountain. And then the following week, the 20th through the 25th, we will work on a Stone Mountain chip seal project. And if we're able to complete that within a few days, we would turn to McCullough. Also during the week of the 20th through the 23rd, or those dates, we're gonna be doing approach work on Bridge 16. CLR completed their portion of Bridge 16. Bridge 16 is open, but it has gravel approach. We will go in and we will do compaction work, and those approaches won't be as steep as they are right now. And I expect that work to take a week.
Okay, are you gonna close that bridge back down during that time? I've had a couple of farmers already call and ask me about that.
We are going to close it down during the day and reopen it up at evening.
Okay, so daytime hours then, and that's the
Yes.
16th through the 18th. Okay,
In regard to the chip seal projects, we have been hauling number 11 stone in to the shop and stockpiling it because it had to be ordered ahead of time. The quarries aren't making a whole lot of stone ahead of time right now just due to the cost. So we have 11's in on the lot for West and East Fall Creek, West Phillips, Wallace Junction, Stone Mountain, Truesdale, Pine Wood, and Pine Lake Drives. McCullough should be finished today. Commissioners, back in 2019, there was an issue with the paver going out and not being authorized by more than one commissioner to move. Right now, I have bridge approaches on Combs Road, Pea Ridge Road, Vilas, and South County line commissioners that need approach work done with our paper. I would just like either a nod to go ahead and do that work and or a vote so these can be complete.
I don't have a problem with that as far as the bridge approaches goes. The situation we got into previously was it was actually put down on a road that created some stink at the time. This is a little bit different situation. As long as it's the bridge approaches, I see no problem with you doing whatever needs to be done.
All right,
I just don't think it's necessary that you call us for approval every time you need to do a job.
thank you.
You gentlemen agree with that?
Yes. No,
A little update in regard to stone. I'm not gonna haul any more stone in for these chip seal projects at this time until we see exactly where we're at. We have other roads on the list, but when the estimates were done and with an inflated price, because we believed it would go up 20% inflated, we figured the number 11's at $12.50 a ton. This morning, number 11's double washed are $17.50 a ton.
So before you purchase any more, we're gonna see how far we can go
See how
with
far
what
we
we've got.
go, what we've got.
Makes perfect sense.
Okay, I had prepared for the bids.
But before we open those up, just a quick question. As the weeds grow and the brush closes the roads and become narrower, how are we doing on our mowing equipment? I mean, I know in the past we've had 3 mowing apparatuses out in every district, one in each district. Are we still able to do that, or?
Well,
I know we've had trouble with the Massey Ferguson tractor from day one.
Well, the Massey Ferguson's been in the shop and we're waiting on some parts right now for it, but the New Holland is working daily. We do at times, because we haven't had any summer staff come on. I've had to make decisions the day we mow or the day we fill potholes. So
And I understand that.
we are mowing, but we've had to pull the man that mows all the time sometimes to and patch holes.
Was we able to get the two part-time individuals that you talked about earlier from the school?
I got one worked one day and left. So we did pick up one,
Okay.
and it has been a help.
How about poison hemlock?
There's no public comments this morning meetings. So, how many employees do we have at the highway department right now?
23,
And that's including your office staff, I'm assuming.
yes,
Okay. And we were at 28?
yes.
Okay.
And I do believe that we have some folks, besides that, I've got some full-time folks that I believe will come on. We're waiting for some results to come back. So
Well-
I expect to be at full staff if all that works out, and I do believe it will.
Okay. Obviously, this is the time of year that we
I
need
hope
everybody we
I
can
hope
get.
Before the end of this week, we'll be at full staff.
Okay.
Go to 10 hours.
Yeah, and why don't we take care of all this business before we go to the bids? And I know our companies are out here, but we've got a resolution we need to
Yeah.
talk about. Let's get that taken care of if you guys don't care. Jim, if you wanna go ahead and
Sure.
bring that up.
Yeah, if you want to comment before we do the resolution. So the highway department had taken, wanted to consider a 4-day, 10-hour per day work week. To have a resolution that would allow that. This would be from a time period from June 12th. Start on, the work week technically is a Sunday, but for Greg's week would be Monday morning on June 12th. They would go to a 4-day, 10-hour per day work week. That would last until August 20th of 2022. So the temporary, and the reason why the August 20th and not August 27th, it's the pay period. So the June 12th starts a pay period, August 20th concludes a pay period. The workers that work 40 hours a week would still continue to work 40 hours. It would just be Monday through Thursday. There's administrative staff that work 35 hours. They would continue to work 35 hours, but it would also be Monday through Thursday. Roughly, that'd be about an 8 3/4 work day for the staff. There's one holiday during that time period between June 12th and August 20th. That's the July 4th holiday. The pay for the holiday for the workers for 8 hours is 8 hours pay. For 7 hours, it's 7. But this would allow the highway superintendent, if he wants the discretion, to change the work schedules where they still work an entire 40-hour work week, they could do that. That would be with his discretion. The auditor, the amount that's accrued for vacation, personal sick, it doesn't change. But the rate might, so if the auditor's office needs to make any type of adjustment with LAO during that time, this authorizes them to do it. I want to be crystal clear on that. No one's getting more hours. They're not getting, additional personal time or vacation. But probably the ratio would have to be adjusted for payroll. That's all it's done. And all the other personnel policies, 301, 3357 vacation, none of that changes. It's just basically, they would go to a 410, Monday through Thursday, with the idea of saving some fuel cost, and if they're out on the job site, finishing that. So Greg, before I read that, did you have any concerns or are you still in favor of wanting to do the 410?
I am, the commissioners, the reason I didn't want it to go any further than August, is because of school. I think that we need to be there 5 days a week when the school buses are running, but I do think this will give us extra time out on jobs instead of back and forth right now. I think we will get more done.
Yeah, I agree with that, and I do think it's gonna be a fuel savings, for us, as well. I'd like to do this again, I'm getting ahead of ourselves, but see it done next year, but earlier, as you presented it, 1st of May, middle of April, somewhere in that ballpark, so.
And Sheila, if you may, this is a resolution. What's a resolution number?
010.
Oh, okay. All right. This is resolution number 2022-010. This is a resolution establishing a 4-day, 10-hour per day work week for for the Owen County Highway Department from June 12, 2022 to August 20th of 2022. Whereas pursuant to Indiana Code 362222, the Owen County Board of Commissioners is the county executive of Owen County. And whereas the Owen County Highway Superintendent desires to establish a 4-day, 10-hour per day work week for Owen County Highway Department in response to rising fuel and support costs. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of Commissioners of Owen County as follows. Section 1, temporary duration. Beginning on June 12th of 2022, the Owen County Highway Department will institute a 4-day, 10 hours per day work week for Owen County Highway Department. The 4-day, 10-hour per day work week will terminate on August 20th of 2022. The Owen County Highway Superintendent, Section 2, work schedules. The Owen County Highway Superintendent has the discretion to establish starting and work times for all county highway employees. The 4-day work week will commence on Monday, include on Thursday. Except for emergency situations, the Owen County Highway Department will be closed on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. B, the Owen County Highway Department, the Owen County Highway employees who currently work a 40-hour, 5-day work schedule will, from June 12th to June 20th, from June 12th, 2022 to August 20th, 2022, work a 40-hour, 4-day work schedule. C, Owen County Highway employees who currently work a 35-hour, 5-day work schedule will, from June 12, 2022 to August 20th, 2022, work a 35-hour, 4-day work schedule. Section 3, July 4th work week. A, the Owen County Highway employees who work a 4-day, 10-hour per day, 40-hour work week schedule will be paid 8 hours of holiday pay for July 4th of 2022. Owen County Highway employees who work a 4-day, 35-hour work schedule will be paid 7 hours of holiday pay for July 4th, 2022. The Owen County Highway Superintendent has the authority to adjust work schedules during the week of July 3rd to July 9th as he deems appropriate. Section 4, auditor payroll. A, the Owen County auditor has the authority to adjust the accrual rates for vacation and sick and personal days as appropriate for the time period of June 12, 2022 to August 20th, 2022 if necessary. Section 5, personnel policy. The Owen County personnel policy adopted by the Owen County Board of Commissioners remains in full force and effect. Policies 301, 303, 305, 307 remain unchanged or in full force and in effect. This resolution shall be in full force and effect immediately upon adoption and publication as required by law, passed and adopted by the Board of Commissioners of Owen County, State of Indiana, in a regular meeting held on today's date and month of the year 2022. Owen County Board of Commissioners are Gary Burke, President, Robert Gray, Vice President, Del Bois, Commissioner, attested by Sheila Reeves, Auditor.
Thank you, Jim. Gentlemen, have any questions? All right, do I hear a motion to approve resolution number 2022-010, establishing a 4-day work week for the Highway Department from June 12th through August the 20th of 2022?
I'll make that motion.
Have a motion by Dale, do I hear a second?
Second.
Have a second by Bob, all in favor? Aye.
Thank you, Commissioners. Commissioners, I do have 3 other, requests that I may make in regard to, spot pave on some hills that have had pavement on them before, for erosion control. But I think it would be best that we hear what comes in on these bids first before I go any further.
We can do that, Greg, just don't let us forget to go back to that when we're done. All right, Jim, we'll let you, take over.
One other thing, I wanna, Orman Road, there's a ditch stopped up and the water, when it rained, the water run across the guy's yard. So you might check that out.
Okay.
Orman Road's not so that long, so it shouldn't be hard to find.
No, we've actually been out there working this week.
Commissioners, we'll read the bids next, but just to give you an idea as far as the funds. So these were the balances on May 31st of 2022 for the major highway funds. And I'm just gonna round to the top number. 1169, the local road and street, has approximately $175,000. 1173, the MVH restricted, it's the high rounding, $388,000 in it. 1176 MVH is 188,000. Cume Bridge with the settlement number was approximately $336,000. So the total of the highway funds as of May would be in the range of about $1 million. So that's their balances on the 31st. The revenue streams that come in, they get on a monthly, they're going up slightly. So what I mean by that, in 1173, 1176 gets a split. In January, the revenue distribution was about $132,000. In May, that same distribution was $142,000 in each fund. So again, obviously, it's an increase of 10,000, which is good for the highway department. Unfortunately, as Greg already mentioned, stone, fuel, all of those things, that even the increased revenue is not keeping up with the rate of inflation. So the amounts are, I mean, that would give you an idea of the increase. So we say, well, they're going up, but that puts them kind of into perspective. The revenue section of 1169, that's really been fairly consistent the entire year. In January, it was $37,000. In May, it was $39,000, and that fluctuates. So that's been fairly consistent. The surtax portion has went up in January. The surtax portion at 1169 was $30,000. In April, it was $70,000. So that's the only area where Greg is seeing, a little bit higher increase in there. But on, local road and street is primarily used for the stone project thing. So the inflation is also kind of wiping that out. But that would give you an idea as far as the streams and the amounts. So this is for Hardscrabble Road.
Jim, can I stop you real quick? And with all that being said, it's very important information, but what we're gonna be dealing with today is ARPA funds, not highway funds. So I just wanna make that clear to the public.
This is the fourth project of the ARPA. There were 3 other bridges. So these bids would be coming out of that amount of what is left. Now, as far as the bid or the state, we're operating under Indiana Code 36-1-12-4. This is a sealed bid project, and this is specifically for Hardscrabble Road. I don't know what the bids are. It was estimated that it might be, over 150,000. I think that's going to be fair to say. So that's why it triggered. So it's a little different than the ambulance bid, but it's public construction. There's a contract packet. There was sent out on May 11th, a bid package. Should have 11 different documents in here for the project for Hardscrabble Road. And Hardscrabble Road is in 4 sections. So there's been 2 bids that have been entered, and they are sealed. One is from EB Paving out of Bloomington, Indiana, and one is from Milestone, also out of Bloomington. I'll go ahead and just, as I have EP first, I'll open that one first. Okay. The contractor's bid form from EP Paving, and used form. Okay, it's Form 96. And it is been notarized and not collision affidavit. Okay, it has the employee eligibility certification. It has their bond notarized. Bond. Collision affidavit, Owen County requires that one twice. It's been notarized and sealed. Owen County addendum is present. Signed and notarized. Domestic steel, notarized. The bid proposal, and they have also signed and notarized it. Okay. All right. This is the actual bid, financial questionnaire, experience. All the finances. Liability insurance. Qualification, budget, the drug testing policy. These are just machinery that they have available. Gentlemen, they would be a responsive bidder. This is the actual bid. This is for Hardscrabble Road. Hardscrabble Road is in 4 sections. It has been asked to do a total bid price, so I'm going to read all 4 sections, but I'm going to read the total bid price first. The total bid for all 4 sections of Hardscrabble Road is $365,641.50. $365,641.50. Specifically for Section 1, State Road 43 to Walden, the price per ton laid is $89.75. And then the total price for that section, $160,203.75. That's from State Road 43 to Walden. Section 2, Walden to Baker School Road. Price per ton laid is $89.75. The total price for that section is $80,236.50. Section 3 is Baker School Road to Schooling Road. Price per ton laid, $89.75. Total price for that section is $53,850. Section 4, Schooling Road, South County to Schooling Road to South County Line Road. $89.75 price per ton laid. Total price for that section, $71,351.25. The total bid price for all 4 sections of Hardscrabble Road, $365,641.50. This one, I moved that so they don't get confused. This is Hardscrabble, their bid packet. Okay, the second bid is Milestone Contractors. Okay, this is from Milestone. Milestone also has their bid bond. Notarized. Certification of Public Works and Construction. And seal. They submitted the bid proposal on the proper form. And they signed and notarized. They have also filled out and used the proper forms for the packet that was submitted, drug testing, employee eligibility, non-collusion affidavit, it is signed and notarized. And then this is the addendum, and there's their signature, and there's the notary. Domestic steel affidavit, signed and notarized. And then they've used the Form 96. And they have all of their supplemental contractor information and the services provided as appropriate. And then they're the same thing. This is a list of all these documents. So I'm going through them so quickly. This is all the list of their equipment. Financial statement. Non-collusion affidavit, signed and notarized. Their corporate certifications. Signed and notarized.
I want to say it was about 350 to 400 grand.
E-verify affidavit,
To do
signed and
chips
notarized.
and,
Company bylaws. Certificates. Certificate. And also all the permit that needs to work. And then there's their placement certification. And they have their copy of their entire program. 49, and liability. Okay, they would be a responsive bidders, gentlemen, this is from Austin. Their total bid price is $373,789.50. $373,789.50. They're the same four sections here, State Road 43 to Walden, price per ton laid, $91.75. Total price, $163,773.75. Section 2, Walden Road to Baker Road, price per ton laid, $91.75. Total price for that section, $82,004.50. Section 3, the Baker School Road to Schooling Road, price per ton laid, $91.75. Total price for that section, $55,050. The fourth section is from Schooling Road to South County Line Road. Price per ton laid is $91.75. Section price, $72,941.25. Total price for all four sections of Hardscrabble Road, $373,789.50. They would be a responsible bidder also.
Thank you, Jim. Greg, where does that come in our ballpark figures? I know we had about 1.1 million left in ARPA funds after the last.
This project, when it was estimated, back several months ago, this would be $39,793.10 over budget at the cheapest, bid.
Which with ARPA funds, it's not quite as crucial as would be with in-house, but it's gonna possibly take away from chip and seal.
Yes, the commissioners have to make a decision whether we wanted to do all the chip seal projects that were approved. There is one more bridge, which I would say do not take off any list. We're so far behind on bridges.
Oh, definitely.
So
I think it's crucial.
that, or you would have to decide whether 39,000 was gonna have to come out of my budget somewhere, and
I don't think that that's the right move.
I don't either, especially with inflation right now.
Right. No, we wanna leave the highway budget alone. I think it's crucial that we get this road done. We've worked with the school, the transportation director out there to get this traffic off of the blinking light out there at 46. Was the reason this road was picked, to bring those buses out the back to 43 to the stoplight. That's been discussed in more than one meeting, and I think that we need to try to stay on with that. Bob, you have any thoughts, Dale? That's kind of our plan, was to do that with this road, is to help the school corporation out.
I don't know how much of the schools on that project appropriated going with bringing the buses out the back way.
And Tom agreed to do that.
It's for that to start with,
Is it?
yes.
Okay,
I mean, the last I spoke, we didn't speak this morning, but that's been the plan all along.
okay.
I think, if I'm not mistaken, Greg, we got down to where there was only gonna be two buses coming to that light at the blinker that had to go either across the Concord Road or out 46, but everything else, that was the agreement that was kind of
I
common.
believe it was 4, but that's
Four,
correct.
okay. I knew it was a minimal amount, and that was the purpose for this. I would like to see us go ahead and move forward with this road project, and not remove the bridge project, and then see where we're at with our chip and seal. That's in-house. We can control that a little bit better. I don't know how you guys feel about that, but I think that this road needs to be done, and we need to continue to replace our bridges.
Absolutely, on the bridges and roads, yep.
Greg, I assume that you feel the same way, that we continue to move on this. We don't know exactly where we're at with our chip and seal, because we haven't actually started and seen what it's gonna cost us per mile once we start putting our time and labor into it. I know in our last meeting, after those two bridges, we were roughly 1.1 million left in ARPA funds to do the remaining projects.
Due to the safety and the assistance with, the school buses, I agree that our gravel road should be done. Commissioners, we will have some hard work. We probably need a work session to sit down and figure out where we're gonna cut to fit within the monies that we have. But I do agree.
Well, I also know you were gonna bring it up, and you still are gonna bring it up with some of those hill repairs with asphalt, so that's gonna
Yes.
affect your budget, so.
Yeah.
We'll have to make some cuts on the chip and seal, I'm sure. We can look at that here in a minute, but, I guess my next question for you, Greg, is we're $7,000 apart. I know that we're to take the lowest bid. We've had some issues in the past.
We have.
I still think we have some issues on some roads that are mentioned. I guess we need to hear your input on that before we move forward.
We have had some issues, with, E&B paving and some, roads that needed, repaired. When brought to their attention, it did take a while, but they came out and made repairs as requested. So they did work with us. We still may have some issues on, McFerrin Road, but, they were responsive in getting back with us and taking care of issues, that needed to be repaired. And as long as, those agreements would stay intact, I would do my best to work with them if the commissioners choose, because of those issues, to go with the other company. I've worked with them also.
I just don't wanna get back into that same situation, and I know that it was a.
Well, I don't either.
Very, and nothing against you, sir, you weren't involved, I don't think, at the time. I don't know if you've been aware of those projects that we had and some community crossings 3 or 4 years, about 3 years ago, maybe 2, I'm not sure, time goes by so fast, but we had some deteriorating asphalt and some problems, and they had to come back out and do some, it took over a year to get that done. And we still got a little bit of, I don't want you to think we're up here talking about you without you knowing what's going on, so. I'm sorry, whoever's E&B, I'm sorry, I'm looking at the wrong guy. I thought when you came in, it was the other way around, I apologize very much.
Yes, sir, I am aware of that. I will add that I grew up here, my name's Jeff Hooley, and I'll do what I can to make everything right.
I know I personally would like to see something done with McFerrin Road still yet, because where it was repaired, we still have issues, so I just wanna bring that up before we make a decision. And again, I apologize to you, sir, for my milestone.
No, you're fine, I know. They'll make it right to you.
But with that being said, you gentlemen, want to go ahead and, make a motion for approval? Any other questions? We're 39,000 over. We've still got a bridge on this plan. Greg, we've all slept since then, but weren't we around 600,000 on our chip and seal project? Ballpark.
I think we could drop one of them bridges and get it paid.
Well, I think we can save the money. I don't wanna drop the bridges, they're
We're
crucial.
655, 922 on
Okay.
chip seal, and we're gonna have to drop some of those just because of the price of stone. Now, emulsion is going to be the same, so we're not gonna have an issue there.
Well,
But stone, $5 higher than it was.
we're gonna have to drop some.
Yeah.
I think it's important that we go ahead and move forward on these projects for sure, and we can regroup on those issues at another date. Matter of fact, it doesn't necessarily have to be discussed in a meeting here, we can do that in a meeting at the highway. With that being said, I'm gonna make a motion that we approve the E&B paving, for Hardscrabble Road at 365, 641 and 51 cents. Do I hear a second?
I'll second that.
Got a second by Dale, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye,
Here you have your packet for notice to proceed and your.
I do.
Okay, and then on the contract, so what would need to be done, signatures before everyone leaves, and then the original goes to the auditor, and to make the copies for obviously, E&B paving and for the highway, and for if the commissioners that want that. Want to stress, this is a time of the essence contract, the work is to begin on July 5th, 2022. It is to be completed no later than August 5th of 2022. That's been noted and that was part of the bid, but this is a time of the essence. So you would have 3 different documents: notice to proceed, intent to award, and then the actual contract.
Thank you. And since you did mention that, the contractor's sitting back there and he's a local individual, the reason that date was set was to get this done before school started so we can move those buses. So it is crucial that we stick to that timeline.
And the auditor must have the originals before everyone leaves here today. The contract has to go back to her.
I think, actually, I've got a copy of all that right here that we can sign, so. Okay, now we have a bridge bid as well?
No.
No, just the road, okay.
Next week, next week.
That's next week, okay. I wasn't for sure if it was out there or not. All right, Greg, what else? Thank you both for being here and taking the time.
Can he look at the fair road?
Yeah, well, this gentleman here, yeah.
While we got him here.
Before he gets out of here, you might wanna get with Greg so we can get back out there and take a look at the fair road. We'd appreciate that greatly.
Okay.
If you got a second to hang out, we're about wrapped up here.
Taxpayers deserve it.
Yeah.
Will the notice to proceed be issued in a very near future?
We're gonna do that before we leave here today.
Awesome.
Yep.
I got the same oil issues that you guys have.
So, yeah, if you can just hang out a few minutes after the meeting, we'll get these documents signed so you can sign off on them and we'll get things rolling. All right, Greg, where else was we going here?
Okay, commissioners, I think we will, stay with this. We've got plenty of work to do over the next month and then we will readdress. There will be heavy work now that Hardscrabble's been approved and I needed to wait to see what was gonna happen for sure. I didn't know where the price would come in, whether it would be accepted. Heavy work will start on Hardscrabble Road this week, and will remain that way in regard to ditching and berming, so we can release it to E&B as soon as possible.
Sounds good. I was thinking there was one other thing that we were gonna talk about here at the end, but I guess we covered it all.
Take home vehicles.
Is that it?
We had some spot paving, but we're just gonna hold on to that until next meeting.
Okay, that's right, that's what it was. Well, we'll discuss that at the very end for everybody. Yeah, those projects are gonna, especially with chip and seal, that'll affect how you handle that as well,
Yeah.
so. All right, well, guys, we appreciate it, and hang tight, we'll get all these documents done here and get everybody rolling. If you wanna go ahead and go out and meet with him outside, you can go ahead and get that part of it done. I'll find my agenda sheet and all my shuffle here. All right, other elected officials and department heads.
I just wanna explain, you guys, when you approve our claims, you approve everything like under COVID. Not all 4 of those grants are COVID. So we have the COVID clinic that is testing that will end June 30th. And that's set days and times. Then we have our cooperative grant, that's for the vaccine, for the childhood vaccine, Flood and Healthy Homes, other things that go wrong with children. They go up with the school with that. So there's planning, there's deadlines, there's things that they're doing for the community that doesn't have to be 8 to 4 in the office. Whatever.
That's still COVID clinic related,
It is not.
but it just shows up on
Shows
the,
up under that, and I probably should have done a better job.
probably if it's broken down, can you break that down in your claims?
I can absolutely, and they are broken down by funds, it's just not presented to you that way.
We'd appreciate that. I mean, obviously, we sit up here to represent 22,000 people, so when those questions come up, we have to be able to answer them.
That's right.
So, yeah, if you could do that, that would be great.
Yeah, and if you guys ever have any questions about that, you're more than welcome to ask me. I'll show you, explain it, whatever you need.
I think that'll help, and I'm sure it'll help on the council side as well. So, okay. Polly, you have anything this morning? Glad to see you here. Attorney comments.
Just one recognition, if I may. Today's date, June 6th of 2022, 78 years ago, on June 6th of 1944, the combined forces of the United States military and its allies began the liberation of Europe on this day. And just a recognition of the bravery and the courage that was being done at this particular time 78 years ago.
Well, that's a very good point, and could never give enough recognition for those people.
My dad taught me that.
Auditor's comments.
I had added extra things, all of these that keep coming in. There was a special event application that was turned in by Tamara Bingham for accidental actors of the Owen County Civic Theater. She's wanting to use the south sidewalk area out here. Again, I stuck it in your.
If it's on the sidewalk itself, that is not a county issue.
She's up in the yard area as well.
Okay, just wanted to make sure we were clear on that. I guess we need to approve that. Has everything been taken care of?
Yes.
The fees have been paid?
They're asking for the fees to be waived.
Civic Theater.
Yeah, I remember Dizzy started doing that with
Is
everybody.
this something you guys are part of?
I'm sorry.
Talk to Christine.
No. I don't have a problem with the event. I'm not necessarily interested in waiving fees, because if we start doing that, then that puts us right back to where we were at before we had an event ordinance and fees. The damage deposit's refundable anyway, and the fee's minimal. You guys have any comments?
I think she ought to pay the fees, same as anybody else.
Well, with that being said, I'll make a motion to approve the special event for the accidental actors and Owen County Civic Theater. Do I hear a second?
Second.
I have a motion by myself, seconded by Bob. All in favor? Aye. I don't think these require signature, do they, Sheila? I didn't think they did. Anything else?
There was stuff that Jim sent, I didn't know. The annual budget that is due to the commissioners by all the departments and stuff, it's just a checklist. I'm assuming, will they send it to me, will they give it to you guys?
That's to you, that's sent out to all the departments, and that should be coming into you.
Yeah, I think I've got a plan to get with Greg on the highway stuff for projections, but last year, everybody was pretty good about sending those in.
And then Jim also sent storage units and summary stuff, I didn't know if you guys were bringing that up or not.
No, that's just for Susan for general information, and then we'll get a plan on how we're going to attack that at the next meeting. That's it? Okay. You gentlemen have anything?
No, I'm very, very well satisfied.
All right, I've got a couple little things here. We discussed sometime back a couple of meetings ago about Uline Company that's got some tables, a couple of benches, and some trash receptacles to try to dress up the courthouse lawn a little bit, give our citizens a place to sit, and our maintenance guys have to exercise and lift weights to open that wooden trash can outside, so I'd like to get rid of that. We've discussed this for quite some time, so I know we looked at this book. We have an account through PO with Uline. So I've got the page if anybody wants to take another peek at it. I think we were talking about a couple of tables and a couple of trash can receptacles. Is that, you want to do the metal ones or the Yeah, well, if we do that, let's do the same table. Those are plastic coated. Okay. Well, with that being said, ask for a motion for approval of the, I'm gonna just call it outdoor furniture, 2 tables, a couple of benches, and 2 trash receptacles. Do I hear that motion?
I'll make that motion.
Do I hear a second?
I'll second.
Have a second. A motion by Bob, second by Dale for, new outdoor, courthouse furniture. All in favor? Aye. Sheila will get with you and show you. The other thing was, we need to discuss, and we can discuss it at this meeting and make a decision at the next meeting, but with the fuel prices the way that they are, other than the deputy sheriff, law enforcement, we need to take a hard look at parking county take-home vehicles. As fuel rises, we're already over $5 a gallon, and as I said this morning, speculation is it could be as high as $7. So we have no agreement anywhere in our employee handbook or with our positions that this comes with a county vehicle.
I think we can go out his place and borrow his horses and put them on a horse.
Put them on a horse. May come to that. But I think we need to take the time in the next couple of weeks and figure out what vehicles are being used, what vehicles are being taken home, and that we take a very hard look at that. And again, it's gonna be unhappy for some people, but we have budget issues, and it's not just affecting us, it's affecting everyone.
Go to motorcycles.
They gotta have a special license.
They about 2-3 times much gas.
Yeah, that'd be nice if we could, but. So anyway, I think between the 3 of us, between now and the next meeting, we need to establish a list of vehicles that no longer need to go home, that are used on county hours only. We've already done that with the assessor's truck is parked through the week other than 8 to 4 on county time. The maintenance truck is parked as well. Trying to think we have the building department vehicle is only used during county hours, so we're gonna assess that. EMA, just off the top of my head, EMS is another one. But we need to take a good hard look. Sheila could probably help us with some of that information. I even think the prosecutor's office has a take-home vehicle. So again, those are areas that we're gonna have to take a serious look at. To be fiscally responsible for the taxpayers of the county. That's our job here, and that's what we're gonna do, and it will be unhappy to some people, but I'm sorry for that. I didn't create the problem.
Our deputies, places in this county busier than others. Okay, if they make 3 or 4 trips up on it, why not just have them find a good shade tree and spend part of the time there?
That's a good point, Dale, and I think that the sheriff is working on a Mill Grove location for a possible auxiliary station, so they can put some deputies up there and leave them in that area, because we spend a lot of time up in Cataract, Cunot area. I don't know how that is coming together, but I'll look into it, or you can check with him as well, but they are working on that. So, I agree with you, cut down on some of the travel time. I think that's all I had. I did have a question about the soil and water rental. Jim kind of answered some of that for me before the meeting, so, we're paying.
We rent that building.
We do, and it's on the claims. So what I was considering was possibly moving them, but they have a board the same as some of the others, to utilize the old health building and save the county some money, because that comes out of the county budget to pay that. So I would like to look into it, and I seen on the claims docket it was $1,020. Is that per month, Sheila?
No.
I didn't think so, because I don't see it on there every month, and that's why I was curious. And we can discuss it later, but just another avenue. We're gonna have some empty offices as we consolidate. And then, the last thing I have, and we're still working on some, but we put out a request for some appraisals of county property. It's been probably a couple of months ago. It's a long process. We've got one of those appraisals back from Fig Appraisal out of Bloomington. And we have 188 acres out on Franklin Road that come back at $795,000. That is a nice chunk of change that the county can turn into cash at some point. We have to have two appraisals in the process, and I'll let Jim explain that just a tad bit, or I can.
Well, just at a minimum, if you're considering selling the county property, the very first step is there has to be two unrelated appraisals.
And I do have that other one coming. It's probably about a month away. So once we get that, we can average those out. At that point, if we decide to, along with the council, we can put that property out for bid. The other piece of property that we had appraised was the Armory, which came in at $380,000. I think that we have taken care of that problem since with a new lease agreement to keep the county in a profitable situation there. We were behind the eight ball before. We've rectified that. We do have a copy of, Jim has presented that contract to the commissioners for us to take a look at. It will be approved hopefully here at the next meeting and will be signed in September. So anyway, those two properties have been appraised. We do have a value on them now. And as soon as the other twos come in, we'll move forward. But I think that, I think our plan, and we discussed it a little bit before, Bob's on the planning commission, I'm on the redevelopment committee, is that land down on Franklin Road is hopefully to turn that into a development for a tax base, you know, build some homes out there. We've got all this property sitting around bringing no dollars in. If we can sell that, and it would be sold with the stipulation that it has to be developed in a certain period of time. So we have tax dollars coming in off those properties. Right now, we're getting nothing. So that's our avenue. And with that being said, I'll make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Got a sign.
No, that's fine for that.
Thank you all.
Sorry.
Have a good day.